Post White House reporter David Nakamura and politics staff writer for Call Shira Toeplitz, and a welcome to the both of you.
Thanks,
David, I want to get to the situation in Libya with you. Is there any regret inside the White House and how they've handled this?
Alex, I don't know if regret's the right word, but I think the White House has made it more difficult on themselves. I mean, they said that, in the early hours after this incident happened, there was a lot of things they were trying to figure out. They didn't have all the answers. There was still investigations to be done. But since then, and since this has started to dribble out here and there, the White House has changed its tune. As Mike said, the press secretary and Hillary Clinton have now called it a terrorist attack. But the president has not done so yet publicly. And what the White House has not really done is come out and given a full accounting, maybe from the top, and probably because of the politics, and that's left a big opening for the Republican side, and they continue to, from Mitt Romney to his surrogates, continue to hit the White House, and I think they're going to keep on this strain. Yeah,
and I've got to say, having covered breaking news and the chaos that can ensue in situations like this, you have to understand what that is like. But you think that the White House was pressured because of the severity of this attack, David? You had a U.S. ambassador killed here. Did they feel pressure to get some answers out there, and they just jumped the gun before they had all the facts?
Absolutely. And the Romney camp says, hey, Mitt Romney got criticized for, critiquing the president's reaction to all this when he criticized the Cairo reaction. But the same thing happened on the White House side, because in the wee hours after the attack, they said that they sort of lumped it all together with this video, and now a lot more information has come out. So again, that storyline sort of got ingrained, and now it's starting to change. And the longer you go on these kinds of things before really coming clean and sort of saying, here's all the things we know really publicly, the longer the story is going to keep going.
Okay, David, thanks for that. Hey, Shira, let's talk about polls now, because the latest NBC Wall Street Journal Marist poll shows Mitt Romney is trailing in all 9 battleground states. What is the best spin the Romney camp can put on this?
Well, they can blame the poll numbers. They can say that, oh, they oversampled Democrats, they oversampled Republicans. A couple weeks ago, they were blaming the convention bump, saying that it was going to be a, quote, sugar high and it would fade. Now they're looking forward to the debates as really their last best chance to make an impression on a lot of these swing state voters. So they're saying there's still time for them to recover, and Mitt Romney can still make his argument, especially in these battleground states.
Yeah, and David, you have this Washington Post article specifically talking about the debates in which you quote, Republican strategists fretting over Obama's recent rise said the debates could be the last best chance for Romney to deliver a decisive blow, change the narrative, and steady his campaign. That's quite a tall order, David. It sounds like a level of desperation there, and desperation then leads to mistakes, as we've seen in the past. Is that a worry at all for the Romney campaign? I've heard some analysts say that he needs a Hail Mary. I mean, is it that dramatic?
Absolutely. The Romney camp won't come out and say that. Everybody tries to sort of downplay expectations before these things, so that if you do well, you sort of overperform. But all eyes are on Romney, that he's trailing in the polls nationally and in the swing states. He said to his supporters, hey, when I name a running mate and when I'm at my convention, you're going to see a bump. You haven't seen those bumps. You haven't seen sustained bumps. This is his chance to do it. He's running out of chances, and 60 million people could watch these debates. So this is a big chance for him.
Well, speaking of bumps, historically speaking, Shira, the challenger gets a bump just for sharing a stage with the president in the first debate. So any chance the Romney camp could play it safe this first time out coming up Wednesday?
They probably will play it safe. Remember, they have 3 chances over the course of October. Obviously, different formats, different topics each time. But I wouldn't be surprised if you see it play it safe the first time out of the gates, especially given where they are in the polls. And that's interesting, because a lot of conservatives right now are calling for Mitt Romney to take a risk, to think outside of the box and really do something dramatic.
Yeah.
But given the way the Romney campaign runs their team, I doubt they'll do anything that risky.
What about, as we were just watching both of you, and I'll ask you, Shira, first. You heard Joe Biden, I'm sure, at the top. He is really hitting home the Medicare message in the state of Florida. I mean, how much traction did he get with that? Is that a winning strategy?
It's worked in the past. In election cycles, we saw it as pretty effective in 2010 when Republicans used it against Democrats. This cycle, Democrats, especially in the House, are trying to use it against Republicans. I think it's effective with certain segments of the population. You mentioned Joe Biden is in Florida. That is exactly one of those populations. You're talking about groups and electorates and voting blocks that are 60 or 55 plus. That's That's where it's really going to resonate.
Hey, David, can the Romney camp send in Paul Ryan the way Obama sends in his vice president? Can he be that effective in the state of Florida?
He's already done that, Alex, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him again. Paul Ryan's brought his own mother with him on some of these speaking engagements in Florida and elsewhere, and they still will. They have an argument of their own that, Obama took money out of Medicare to pass his health care plan. So they're going to keep on that message. They're not giving up. But I will say, I did recently talk to some White House officials. They're feeling very, very confident in Florida, and they recently his campaign did a big ad buy there because they do see internal numbers breaking their way right now. So I think the Romney camp does need to get in there and sort of try to shore it up.
Okay, David Nakamura, Shira Toeplitz, good to see you both as always. Thank you.